Go.
I'm John Weiler, creator of Survival Trial, and we're about just right around 5 hours left in the ST9 Winterborn Race of Champions. And I'm standing out at our shooting scenario number 5 on your map, and with Terra Victor, who's just completed it. They started their trek up into the backcountry about 5 o'clock, right around 5 o'clock last night. And their parameters for this race is once they choose to come into this northern arena that they're committed. That's because of the snow and the mud, and we can't get up here. It's just the fact of the time of the year. But we have the abilities to pull them out if they were to become injured. So they made that choice after picking up the golden basket to head up, and they chose to forego the physical obstacle and preserve time, because again, it is unknown. It's actually unknown to all of us. I got stuck up here earlier a few days ago, so I know that it was in places deep snow and mud too. So but they showed up here about 05-ish this morning and went right into their shooting scenario. Feet are wet. The water was okay. Froze a little bit. They weren't completely out. So did well with their shooting scenario too. This one was a coffee shop robbery. So they had to begin with holding coffee in their hands, cups in their hands, and then engage their threats, which were clay pigeons that we have hanging in the trees. So they're very challenging scenario. They did very well. So sun's up now. Gone through our second period of darkness. We have one team currently in the backcountry, and I'm talking quietly because we don't want the other teams to know where they're standing. It's a race. But RC is still making their way down this way, and they are they're on track. As long as nothing terrible happens, they should be on track to be making the finish line by the end of the race. They did make a detour up there and added some mileage onto their path down to this location, but they're still fine. I have no doubt, again, unless somebody rolls an ankle or something like that, that they won't make it here in time and the finish line in time. So with that being said, there's at points from what Terra Victor was telling us about 16 inches of snow, quite a bit of mud. So like their feet have been wet since the beginning and cold. They had gaiters on to kind of protect the insides of their feet, but walked through some significant amount of snow after moving right around over 40 miles. All the teams right now have hit 40 miles, and on top of some extremely physical shooting scenarios. Extremely. This is the hardest trial that we've put together, but again, that's by design. It's a race of champions. So as you can hear, maybe see behind me, we have a gaggle of turkeys that are just beautiful. They're big birds, but that's the other nice thing about being out here. I passed a herd of elk earlier driving up here to do a health and welfare and watch Terra Victor go through this scenario. So love the NRA Whittington Center. If you come out here, this is the back country. You go up to the front though, it's the same thing. You got antelope around, elk around there. It's just a beautiful place. So NRAWC.org is our site sponsor for the Survival Trial. It's a great vacation destination. Bring the family and actually find a place where you can unwind and relax. Okay, so our final team is 4040, and they are injured. One team is injured may not be the right word, hurt. So he's got to pull muscle is what he thinks. And slowly, that's greatly inhibited their movement. And I watched them with their last shooting scenario, number 4, and he was having a great deal of pain of movement going uphill and shooting the shotgun and shooting the sidearm. Completed the firearms task very well, very safe, and very consistent as far as his hits out there, which is good. But chose not to do the Jake, so they don't get performance points when they don't complete the entire scenario. So they just get achievement points for finding the location, navigating correctly. So they chose to do that, but they still wanted to shoot. That's why they're there. And that's, if you think about that in terms of being out for 2 nights in the cold, they were still in the southern part of the arena where there's not the shelter like it is up here in the backcountry. And it's cold. The water froze, and froze more consistently than what we're seeing right here with these guys, just because there's nothing to stop the wind down there. But they still chose to come and do the shooting, because it's fun for them. That's why they're here. So the Race of Champions is some very, very special people out here that are driven, tough, and tough physically, but even more importantly, tough mentally, emotionally. So here we are. We're waiting on rally caps now at this location to make it through their backcountry excursion, and we only have right around 5 hours left in this 48-hour race. And what a race it's been! I mean, we've seen some amazing things out here. Some great feats of strength, some very gracious moments, teams helping each other, everybody's very positive spirits, in the face of some great adversity. So, very, very humbling experience. All the survival trials are, but this Race of Champions has been a very good one. So 5 more hours, and keep watching the trackers. Watch these teams as they move up, and race will end at noon. But it's noon, not daylight savings time. It's the previous time. So nobody's changed their watch. That way we don't shortchange these competitors. It's a 48-hour race. We're actually going to be ending at 1 o'clock your time, not survival trial time. So we still had about 5 hours left in the arena. So keep watching these trackers, watch them as they progress here, and I'll be back in probably more like 6 hours after the after-race after-party, and give everybody the final standings in the 2015 Race of Champions. Okay, I'm John Weiler, creator of Survival Trial, and I'll be back here for the finale of the 2015 Winterborn Race of Champions.